Now, your weekly dose of inspiration, perspiration, and just the right amount of bull defecation. The Get You Some Radio Show with your host, the Vice President of Making Shit Happen, Terry Lancaster.
Hey, here we go. All right. This is the pilot episode, the beta episode, the test run, the trial balloon of the Get You Some Radio Show, and I am your host, Terry Lancaster. Welcome. Super excited, super pumped, a little nervous. Got a lot going on. Going to have my buddy Kinny Landrum here on the very first show. Kinny Landrum is a sales machine. He's at Toyota of Bowling Green up in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and he is literally one of the best social selling people that I've ever seen. I'm connected with Kinny on Facebook, and you see Kinny all the time. He's got videos with his customers. He's constantly talking about his customers. He's constantly being friends with people, making new friends, building a network, building a better referral network, but he's hardly ever selling. Kenny's never on there talking about getting a new 4Runner for $299 a month. He's never talking about the March Mania Markdown Madness sale that they're having. He's just connecting and being friends. We're going to talk with Kenny in just a little bit about how he does that and what that does for him. And you don't have to sell cars for a living. If you're selling insurance, if you're selling real estate, if you're selling industrial pipe and supply, people want to buy from people they know, like, and trust. And Kenny's going to tell us how you can do that better. But first, let's talk about the Get You Some Radio Show, why we're here, who we're here for, and what we're all about. And the Get You Some Radio Show, so this is going to be for salespeople and entrepreneurs. The show is for salespeople and entrepreneurs, people who eat what they kill. If you don't sell and you don't eat, this is the show for you. We want to talk to people who have their life on the line, who are laying it on the line every day. And I say this to anyone who will listen. I've been telling my kids this since they were 10 years old. The number one skill set that you can ever have, the most valuable skill that you can own, is the ability to talk other people into giving you money. So we're going to talk a lot about that, talking other people into giving you money. But the show isn't about money. The show's about getting some. Get you some. The Get You Some Radio Show. And the sum is not money. When we say get you some, I'm talking about getting some health, happiness, and prosperity. I'm talking about building a better business by building a better life, because you can't have one without the other. And you could be a sales machine working 80 hours a week, but if you're miserable, what's the use in it? I know salespeople who've been super successful, and they've been divorced 3 times. Their kids barely know them. They're working 80 hours a week. They've got all the toys, and they're just miserable. And they're drinking themselves into a tizzy, and they eat bad, and they're unhealthy, and they're just not happy. So I'm not interested in making $1 million if you're going to be miserable. So we're going to talk about how to build a better life, one step at a time. We're talking about building a better you, better nutrition, better exercise. I'm going to talk about meditation some. We've got some meditation experts lined up that we're going to have on the show here in a couple of weeks. We're going to talk about building a better you from the inside out, so you can build better relationships, so you can build a better business, so it all just kind of jives in together. And so we got another misnomer, the Get You Some Radio Show. This isn't a radio show, but the Get You Some pre-recorded webcam video cast didn't really have the same sort of ring to it. So we're calling it the Get You Some Radio Show, and a lot of that's because in a former life, several lifetimes ago, I was a prime time disc jockey. Kelly, Prime Time Michaels, Middle Tennessee's Remarkable FM, Jet 107. So I've been a top 40 disc jockey. So we're going to operate the show kind of like a radio show. We want to keep the energy up so that you're engaged and active and enthusiastic and interested. So we want to keep some interest there. Another thing that's going to be different about this than a lot of podcasts that you listen to and you lot of hear is we're going to try to keep it to around 30 minutes per episode. So I know a lot of podcasts are an hour, 75 minutes long. But A lot of the research I've seen says that the human attention span is only 25 minutes long. You're probably going to hear me at some point talking about the Pomodoro technique, which is one of the productivity techniques that I like to use, and that's to stay concentrated on any activity for no more than 25 minutes at a time. So we're going to try to keep the shows short so you can get in, get entertained, get some action, get some ideas that are going to improve your life, and then you can get back to your life so you don't have to spend all your time staring at another screen, whether it's your computer screen or whether it's your phone screen. So every episode, we're going to have one action step. That's a big thing that we want to talk about. Is every week we're going to have the guest talking about one thing that you can do this week to start making your life and your business better. And so just like any radio show, we're going to have cash and prizes. We've got swag. Right here we have the Get You Some Mega Mug. Now, a lot of folks might call that a beer stein, and it would be perfect for holding a nice frosty cold adult beverage. But I haven't had a drink in about 4.5 years, I don't believe. I got off the sauce 4.5 years ago. So the only thing my Mega Mug ever contains is 22 ounce of delicious caffeinated goodness, and I still love me some caffeine. So this week, I'm going to be giving away a Get You Some Mega Mug. A Get You Some Mega Mug. You can have this, but you can't buy this in the store. You can't buy it on my website. Amazon's not going to deliver it to you. The only way you're going to get a Get You Some Mega Mug is to subscribe and share the Get You Some radio show. So right now, up above my head, there's a big red button that says subscribe. Put your email address in there and subscribe to the Get You Some radio show so you don't miss a single episode. If you'll subscribe and then you'll share it, tweet it out, put it on Facebook, put it on LinkedIn, print up some flyers and put them up at the gym, whatever you want to do. Spread the word about the Get You Some radio show, and we're going to have a drawing this week. One lucky winner is going to get their very own Get You Some Mega Mug. But then we're going to take it one more with the subscribe and share sweepstakes. Haven't got all the details worked out about this. So this is a pilot episode, the beta episode, so trying to get my ducks in a row and feeling this out as I go along. But my goal is, what I'm going to do is every week we're going to have a subscribe and share winner. So every week I'm going to give away some swag, whether it's a t-shirt, a hoodie, a water bottle, or the Get You Some Mega Mug coffee stein right there. But every week we're going to have one weekly winner. We're going to give away books. I've got copies of my books that I'm going to give away. I wrote the #1 bestseller, Better, Self-Help for the Rest of Us. I've got guests coming on who are #1 bestsellers. We're going to give away copies of their book every week. So we're going to have those. So each week we're going to have a weekly winner. And then later on, towards the end of the year, I'm going to take all those weekly winners. I'm going to put their name in a hat, and we're going to draw out one grand prize winner for the Get You Some subscribe and share sweepstakes. And the problem is I just don't know what the prize is going to be yet. I'm thinking about maybe getting the winner and bringing them to Nashville for the weekend. I'll take them to a Predators game. We'll have a good time. Take them out for a nice steak dinner. Maybe they can pick my brain about personal branding or marketing or whatever they want to talk about, or we can just talk about hockey, or we can talk about meditation or whatever's on their mind. So maybe a trip to Nashville will make a good grand prize. Also think about having some cash prizes. One thing I've got in my mind is that at the end of the year, I'll have a cash prize worth 1 cent, 1 penny for every subscriber that we have to the Get You Some radio show. Now, right now, as we record this pilot episode for the Get You Some radio show, your cash prize is going to be $2.47. So $2.47 right now. But click that button. Get your friends to click that button. Spread the word. Spread the love. And on down the line, I'd be super excited if we could give away a couple $100, $1,000, $10,000, whatever we can give away. 1 cent per subscriber. Click the button. Spread the word. And when you spread the word, make sure you're using the hashtag GetYouSome. You can tag me in it. I'm at Terry Lancaster on Twitter, or I'm Terry.Lancaster.1 on Facebook. So look me up on Facebook. Tag me if you're tagging this on Facebook. Include me if you're putting it on Twitter. And if you don't do any of those things, just like any radio show worth its salt, we've got a request line. The Get You Some hotline. 1-800-352 3305. The Get You Some hotline if you want to request a guest. If you've got a question about marketing, about meditation, about sales, about entrepreneurship, about exercise, whatever it is that you want to hear about more on the Get You Some radio show, call in on the request line. The Get You Some hotline, 1-800-352-3305. And just like every radio show, just like I said, I'm a former top 40 disc jockey. So I've got another top 40 staple. We have the phrase that pays. So when you call in on the Get You Some hotline, use the phrase that pays, and that is yum, yum, get you some. Yum, yum, get you some. The phrase that pays. Calling in if you just want to hear your voice on the webcast on the Get You Some radio show. Call in and use the line, get you some. Yum, yum, get you some. Send me a video. Yum, yum, get you some. We'll include that in there too. And all that will get you involved in the subscribe and share sweepstakes. I've got one other reason this is just like a big radio show, commercials. Yes, we have commercials. So I'm going to be right back talking with my buddy Kinny Landrum about having fun and getting deals done right after this message.
Sell more cars. Spend less money. Keep the growth. Instant Events. Instant Events. Automotive advertising. Get the tools you need to dominate your market. Radio and TV, print and direct mail, digital and social media, event decorations, and more. Get what you need when you need it. A la carte. No contracts. No commissions. No bullshit. Call today. Start your sale tomorrow. Instant Events. Instant Events. Automotive advertising. 1-800-352-3305. The Get You Some radio show. Yum, yum, get you some. Get you some.
Hey everybody, it's Kenny Landrum and Sheena from Scottsville. Woo! You're from Scotts Vegas, ain't you?
That's right.
What'd you get, Sheena?
2006 Honda Pilot at the Toyota dealership.
Hey everybody, it's Kenny Landrum and
Linda Vincent.
What are we doing, Linda?
Hey, I just bought a brand new car from this guy right here.
It's Kenny Landrum and I'm with Ava and Grace.
We just bought a nice truck.
Jared Spencer.
And
Addison.
What did you guys just do?
Bought a brand new 2017 Toyota Tacoma.
Hey everybody, it's Kenny Landrum at Toyota Bowling Green. What's up, Cheetah?
It's a great day. I bought a car.
Let's talk about the Kenny Landrum. And
okay.
Not Kenny Landrum, the Kenny Landrum. So tell me, tell the folks how you got to be the Kenny Landrum, what efforts you make towards building yourself as this micro celebrity in Bowling Green, this mini persona that you've created, and tell folks how that has helped you, how it helps fill your funnel.
Well, Terry, when I started this process, I really didn't know what I was doing. And so I reached out to a few people just to kind of look at them and to see what they were doing. And what I found from Laura Madison in particular was Facebook and YouTube, I think, is where she kind of cut her teeth. And creating content that was going to be beneficial to the end user, which is my customer.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been working on creating an awareness of the Kenny Landrum at Toyota of Bowling Green, and that is what is helping me get an invitation to the dance, so to say.
Yeah. Yeah. So you use Facebook, you use YouTube. You're all about video, man. You got videos. How many videos do you make a day?
Well, I make videos to show the authenticity and the customer experience when they buy a car. They're really short, and I really have a good time with it. They're not scripted. We just have fun with it. And when my customer enjoys the purchasing process, a lot of them don't have an issue with expressing that on video. And I also kind of couple that with requesting that they consider doing an online review. So
yeah,
they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, so you create the videos, you post them on Facebook, you run them there, you post them on YouTube, and you run them there, and then you're driving that to create the online reviews. What are some of the online review? Where are you sending them to generate your online reviews?
Well, I send them to one of three places. If they have a Google account, then I request that they consider writing a review on Google, sharing about their experience. If they are on Facebook, and a lot of my customers are, I encourage them to go to my business page, which is Kinny at Toyota of Bowling Green, to write a review there.
Right.
And then the other folks, we send them to cars.com.
Yeah.
It's a free review site. It's not paid. We don't pay them. And I think it's a good site to send folks to.
Now, when you're sending them to Google and you're sending them to cars.com, they're reviewing the dealership there. Is that correct?
They're reviewing the salesperson at the dealership. Yes.
So it's both.
Absolutely. It's both. It's, you're definitely, I as a salesperson at Toyota Bowling Green am working in concert with Toyota Bowling Green. It's a good partnership.
Right. So what do the folks at Toyota Bowling Green think about the Kinny Landrum? I mean, in your efforts to, you're branding yourself. You're branding yourself. Do you know of any pushback from the dealership? How do a lot of dealers feel when their salespeople are branching out and promoting themselves just as hard as they promote the dealership?
Well, I'm not really that keyed in on how other dealerships are. I've only worked for Toyota Bowling Green. And, quite frankly, we have embraced it over time because, it is a promotion of Kinny Landrum the Kinny Landrum at Toyota of Bowling Green. So it's about creating that customer experience at Toyota Bowling Green, because Terry, without Toyota of Bowling Green, there's no experience for me to create for my customer.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all. So everything ties all in together. Now you've got your own website as well, the Kinny Landrum. And you're in Edmonds. I read the article that they wrote about you in Edmonton. You said people now have started calling you because you have the website the Kinny Landrum.
Yes. I started out with trying these catchy phrases, "Your car guy for life," or things of that nature. And then I kind of reverted back to my name, because nobody can take your name from me.
Yeah.
So the Kinny Landrum at Toyota of Bowling Green now is the brand, or is the customer awareness piece that I'm trying to create.
Yeah. So you've got it online. Do you mean, tell me about how is it working for you? What setup do you have that on? How do you use your website?
Well, the website is a place where folks can go to really kind of get third-party verification, in addition to some of the other things that they might pull up in Google, like the Edmonds article.
Yeah.
Like the video testimonials, like the cars.com reviews.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. They kind of layer together to work to maybe build in the customer's mind that, hey, this might be a good person to work with.
So you mentioned the third-party verification, everything layers together, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. But at what point in the process are people investigating you that they run across all this information? Do they stumble upon it and then get in touch with you, or do they get in touch with you and then they start doing some Scooby-Doo secret agent stuff, trying to find out about you and go look up there? Where are they discovering? Where and when are they discovering all about you?
Well, that kind of makes me think of, Terry, when I go to church and I notice somebody that has a car from Toyota Bowling Green, and I start to think, wow, I work at Toyota Bowling Green. I go to church with these people, and they bought a car from someone else.
Yeah.
So I began to create the awareness on Facebook.
Yeah.
Really? is where the impact has come from. When a customer or potential customer sees their friend tagged in Facebook on a video,
yeah,
that gives me it's given me a wider audience.
yeah,
And that audience sees that, and those likes on that Facebook post is, oh, wow, if Susie bought a car from Kinny, maybe I should give Kinny an opportunity when I'm looking.
yeah. Yeah, and you're not just online. You've taken it old school too. You got your used car Reiki hat on, and I've got my Kinny Landrum hat on. So I know in addition to the Facebook and the YouTube and Google and all the online stuff that you do a lot of stuff offline with your merchandising, with your shirt, and with the merchandise that you wear. But also, I love what you do with the child safety seat. So I'd like you to tell folks about that, because I think that's important work, and I think it's been important for you.
It has been important for me. Car Seat Safety Matters is a nonprofit that I helped start, and it's all about increasing awareness of the importance of child seat safety. So the goal of Car Seat Safety Matters is to educate caregivers on best practices for installing, restraining, and cleaning their child safety seat. And actually, we at the event, because of our sponsorships, if a seat is not safe in some way, we go ahead and replace it for free thanks to our many sponsors. So the goal of that is to, once again, help out the public, increase education and awareness. However, it can't help but spill over into what I do for a living. And it's helped sell some cars as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know you've been on TV talking about that. You're on the TV show, the noonday TV shows there in Bowling Green, and you have you have the radio show that you do. So talk about that.
Yeah, I did 17 weeks with Tony Rose, the local DJ personality here, and Tony felt like it was a good match to get on and do a show and just talk about car stuff.
Yeah.
It's not pitchy. It's not saying come buy a car for me. It's simply providing information, and hopefully if customers have questions or people have questions about the car buying process or anything along those lines, they can reach out. And a lot of them have reached out via the website. I have a call to action on the website, which is 10 easy tips for buying a new or used car. I get lots of subscriptions for that.
Yeah.
And that's neat because I can take those emails and put them in a database. Also, I promote very heavily my phone number. I want folks to know that I'm accessible and reachable. So you can call or text me at 270-779-2819 anytime.
Yeah. And you said you're not pitchy. Do you have a kind of a ratio that you keep in mind, or how much in you're doing on the radio and on TV and on Facebook and on your website? How much are you trying to bring in a call to action? Do you pitch at all, or do you 100% social interaction?
It's probably about 95% social interaction.
Right.
I do post a car every now and then.
Yeah.
Something, for example, I posted a 2016 Toyota 4Runner with 12,000 miles on it the other day. And it was awesome because it really wasn't on that post that I got the interaction from another customer that said, make sure you don't tell my wife about that 4Runner. And I said, I'll make sure I tag her in the post. How about that? And he said, no, please don't do that. Yeah. And we are friends on Facebook, his wife and me as well.
Yeah.
But then he said, would you be willing to trade even? So, Terry, that opened up the conversation. And then we began to talk more about him trading in his 16 Toyota Highlander for the 16 pre-owned 4Runner, because he really wanted a 4Runner. So it's about creating those conversations.
Yeah, it's creating conversations, building the funnel, starting at the top end. So if you were a young salesperson, if you were where you were 2 or 3 years ago, and you knew nothing about all of this stuff, where if you were talking to either a young salesperson who were just getting started in the business or an older salesperson who had never had to deal with any of this before, where would you tell them to start? Well, one, why would you tell them it matters? And two, where would you tell them to start?
Now, what was the first question, Terry?
So if you were a younger salesperson, if you're talking to a younger salesperson just getting started in the business, they didn't know anything about all of this stuff, or an older salesperson who never had to worry about any of this stuff, why would you tell them it matters?
Well, first, I would tell them it matters because creating awareness of what you do is very important, because if folks that I hang out with at church or when I go to a restaurant or the cleaners, as long as they know what I do, then once again, I might get an invitation to the dance. But I would take that one step further. All of my local friends on Facebook get to see what I do by what I post on social media. So posting those video testimonials on Facebook helps give me a wider exposure. So I would encourage a young person to use Facebook. I would encourage them to post things on Facebook that are informative, that are genuine, that are authentic, things that are not pitchy. Hey, come buy a car for me because I have the best deals, or come buy a car for me because I'm going to give you $5,000 off. It's about creating the awareness again of what you do. And I know I said that once already, but that's what I feel.
Yeah.
And when their friends like that video post on Facebook that you've tagged the customer in, once again, that is increasing your reach.
Yeah. So it's all about reach. And where should they start? What would be the first thing you would do if you were getting started today?
Facebook, for one, my personal Facebook page is where I would begin to share with people what I do. And I wouldn't just share, hey, I'm working at Toyota Bowling Green. I might begin to share some car tips that are going to help them at, for whatever car they have.
Right.
Number two, I would start a business page. And why would I start a business page? Because I like the review feature of the business page, of creating reviews on your business page. And three, I would go with YouTube as well and do some customer videos, testimonial videos, and maybe some informative videos on why the Toyota Sequoia might be something you would consider versus the Chevy Tahoe, or the Toyota Corolla versus the Hyundai Elantra. So, and then ask for online reviews. So ask your customer base, the ones that you start selling, would you mind sharing some information on my Facebook page or Google or cars.com? And I would suggest picking one of the three, or one of whatever review site you'd like to do, so you're not over encumbering the customer with, hey, I want you to go do all these reviews on all these different sites.
Yeah.
And then you start to build relevance in Google. And then you're able to say, hey, just Google me, Kenny Landrum, or the Kenny Landrum customer reviews, see what comes up. And maybe that'll help make a decision if you're on the fence.
The Get You Some Radio Show. Yum, yum, get you some. Get you some.
All right, there it is, boys and girls. The pilot episode, the beta episode, the trial run of the Get You Some Radio Show. Thank you to my buddy Kinny Landrum for allowing us to use his interview here on the very first episode. Be sure and connect with Kinny at thekennylandrum.com. And if you're near Bowling Green, Kentucky, and you need a Toyota, Kinny is your guy. Reach out and hit him up. Stay tuned. We got another episode. We're going to have it in 2 weeks. Normally, we're going to be a weekly show, but for pilot runs, we're coming back with another episode in 2 weeks. This one's going to be featuring sales trainer extraordinaire and best-selling author Mark Tewart in 2 weeks on the Get You Some Radio Show. I'll see you then.
Get You Some Radio. You've been listening to the Get You Some Radio Show. Subscribe today at terrylancaster.tv to hear more episodes, win valuable cash and prizes, and get free training to help you create an army of buyers who know, like, and trust you before they've ever even met you. It's a big, wide world, boys and girls. Get out there and get you some.